First tonight, government and the opposition in another back and forth. This time over the government's recently signed agreement with Focal Limited and Shell. Plus, as whispers of a 2026 general election begins to loom, the opposition leader is questioning who's manning the upcoming election process. This as two PLP parliamentarians offer contradicting explanations. And then the World Bank, along with other international organizations, ramping up efforts to bring stability to war-torn Haiti. Our Delbardo Emmanuel has the details on the high-level talks. And then in our news at 7:30, has government's response to environmental concerns surrounding SpaceX debris been enough? The opposition leader says the Prime Minister cannot be seen as a hypocrite as he continues to push the message of climate change. The details on these stories and more as our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to our News Live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. The Davis administration on the defense tonight as the opposition questions if recent purchase agreements went through competitive bidding. The Prime Minister telling Parliament the deal started under the F&M administration, while the Energy Minister revealed millions were paid for land that the government never attained. Berthany McDermott picks up the story from here.
During debate in the House of Assembly this morning, Prime Minister Philip Davis defending his government's recent agreements with Focal Limited and Shell. Davis said the agreements began under the former F&M administration and were bad deals to start with until his government cleaned up the deals.
They were renting generation from them. It was costing the Bahamian people up to $30 million or more, $40 million a year. That went directly to the bottom line of BPL. Not passed on at all. We have converted it now.
His response came during opposition leader Michael Pintard's contribution to the automatic exchange of financial information bill. Just last week, the government signed a purchase agreement with Focal to develop an LNG terminal at Bahamas Power and Light's Clifton Pier plant. The deal is expected to save Bahamians up to $180 million. Pintard questioned if the recent deals ran through the competitive bidding process.
Where is the competitive bidding that allow multiple persons to have an opportunity to bid on generating wealth?
The Prime Minister maintains the documents relating to the deal will be tabled and laid in Parliament at the appropriate time. But Pintard didn't stop there. He referenced aspects of the deal, adding that he doesn't believe the Minister nor the Prime Minister fully understands the deal. It prompted this bombshell revelation from Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis.
If the F&M had looked at the entire transformation of BPL, they would have not entered into a land purchasing deal and paid $7 million out of BPL's already cash-strapped bank book to a company who was selling land and never closed the deal. The cost was $14 million. They paid $7 million, and we got no land. The person still hold their land. They have our $7 million. The deal never closed, and this was a part of their energy reform plan.
Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks so much for that, Berthany. With two government officials contradicting each other, opposition leader Michael Pintard is questioning who's manning the upcoming election process. Just last week, National Security Minister Wayne Munroe, who has responsibility for the Parliamentary Registration Department, said the government has not contracted any company, foreign or domestic, to manage the election process. But in Parliament today, Pintard tabled a contribution from Bain and Grantstown MP Wade Watson on March 6, 2025, from the official Hansard, where he said, quote, "The administration is seeking to replace the parliamentary registration system with a more modern solution and has engaged a vendor to facilitate the implementation," end quote. Pintard is questioning which assertion is correct.
It worries us that the government has hired a company and are revamping the Parliamentary Registration Department. And it worries us because this is being done at a time where they just fired or transferred the parliamentary registrar, the young man, the young man who was in charge of organizing the elections. And we hope that it's for some legitimate reason. And so.
While the World Bank, in partnership with international organizations, is accelerating efforts to address Haiti's persistent crisis, which includes political instability, economic decline, and widespread violence. Today, a senior operations specialist at the World Bank recently discussed the challenges and the strategies in place to aid Haiti's recovery. Our Delvardo Emmanuel followed a special Zoom meeting with key World Bank officials and brought us this report.
Haiti, a nation facing a complex and multi-dimensional crisis, continues to grapple with political turmoil, economic collapse, and escalating violence. Over the past decade, the country has endured devastating natural disasters, social unrest, and institutional weaknesses, all of which have contributed to an increasingly dire situation. The security situation, particularly in the capital, Port-au-Prince, has worsened significantly as gangs control major transportation routes, extorting businesses and disrupting economic activity. As a result, Munir Mahalit, senior operations specialist at the World Bank, says Haiti has seen a nearly 40% drop in economic output compared to projections from 2018, with an estimated losses reaching close to 9.7 million because of the increase in gang violence.
It's very important to control streets, access routes, transportation routes in order to tax businesses and people that like to go from point A to point B. That, unfortunately, has severe impacts on economic activity.
Satellite imagery shows a stark contrast between Haiti and its neighbor, the Dominican Republic, where economic activities has remained steady. In Haiti, key regions such as Port-au-Prince and Turban have seen a sharp decline in production and business operations due to ongoing instability.
We see poverty rates increasing. We see the food insecurity skyrocketing, and the access to essential services, including health, water, sanitation. Unfortunately, we see that declining, in particular as a result of looting.
Despite these challenges, there are signs of resilience, according to the World Bank. Haitian government and political factions have agreed on power-sharing agreements, paving the way for future elections. On the security front, the United Nations has authorized deployment of multinational security support missions led by Kenya to assist Haitian forces in stabilizing the country. Economically, while disruption persists, Haiti's private sector remains determined to push forward. The World Bank has adopted its approach to be more flexible, focusing on safeguarding essential institutions and strengthening community resilience.
So the overarching goal that we are trying to follow here is to build resilience and to preserve essential institutions and human capital, all while laying the foundation for economic recovery.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Delvardo. A Marine is facing charges after two teens attending the National Youth Program accused him of inappropriately touching them. 22-year-old DiMaggio Barrett denied 2 counts of indecent assault at his arraignment before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo-Evans. Prosecutors allege that Barrett indecently assaulted 2 girls aged 17 on March 19th. Barrett's bail was set at $18,000. He's back in court on April 24th for the start of his trial. Well, we had some beautiful weather today on this Hump Day Wednesday, but as to what we can expect for the remainder of the week, well, meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center with the answers. Greg, what are we looking like?
It's going to continue to be a nice week. We're going to close it a little on the breezy side, but yeah, that frontal boundary is now down near the southeast Bahamas. You see that in our satellite picture, but it's exiting the area. High pressure building behind, leaving us with some warm temperatures. 78 degrees is our current temperature outside our studios right now. North-northeast winds at 12 miles per hour. Your feels like temperature is at 78. Temperatures right now around the islands, it's 77 in Freeport, 77 also in Alistown, Bimini, over in Great Harbour Key as well. 78 Nicholas-Town, Andros here in the capital and in Governor's Harbour. Marsh Harbour, Abaco 75. Central Bahamas 78, Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Arthurstown, Kid Island, all 77s there. Coburn Townsend, Salvador, you have some showers and isolated thunderstorms nearby with a temperature of 75. Deadman's Key 78 in the southeast Bahamas. 78s, all locations. Looks like the only exception being Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands 82. Matthew Town in Agua You're the warm spot in the chain of islands at 80 degrees. Sideline radar composite, quiet across area now. That frontal boundary now pushing towards the south and east, exiting the southeast bombers. Most of the activity well to the east of us. There was a little weak boundary to the north across the northern islands, but most of the activity associated with that has dissipated. That high will start to strengthen, so we're looking for some very breezy conditions, actually on the windy side, starting tomorrow, and that will take us into Saturday. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still coming.
Coming up in sports, one of the country's most popular sports tourism events is returning to the Bahamas, and not Saturday's concert. This is some other vibes. Track and field vibes.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. For the 5th time, the Bahamas will host one of the landmark events on the World Athletics calendar, bringing the top relay teams from around the world back to a revamped Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. At the World Athletics Council meeting in Nanjing, China, the international governing body for the sport officially announced that the Bahamas will host the World Relays in 2028. The event will take place April 22nd to 23rd. The Bahamas previously hosted the meet in 2014, 2015, 2017, and 2024.
Both Buddy Hield and Kai Jones were on the court Tuesday night in NBA action. Buddy Hield finished with 10 points and shot 2 from 5 from the three-point range, but his Golden State Warriors lost to the Miami Heat 112-86 at the Kaseya Center in Miami. Kai Jones and the Dallas Mavericks didn't fare any better on the road facing the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden.
After a year on the sidelines, Ian Lewis is back on the diamond for the Miami Marlins and looks to continue where he left off in 2023. The ultimate goal remains the same, a call-up to the major leagues. Lewis made his first spring training appearance with the big league club in the Marlins' 6-5 win over the Houston Astros in Grapefruit League play.
Rowing continues its development into the local school system. Windsor School recently hosted the country's first indoor rowing nationals at the school's campus. Over 40 student athletes competed side by side on Concept 2 ergometers, including the host King's College, Laifakina National School, and the Nassau Rowing Club.
That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
All right, thanks so much, guys. A local trainer getting set to make history when he presents at the National Athletic Training Association Conference in Orlando this summer. The conference is the flagship event for peer-to-peer trainer networking and provides hands-on learning and groundbreaking innovations aimed at empowering athletic trainers. Smith, who works at the University of the Bahamas, will be the first athletic trainer from UB to present at the conference.
This is an opportunity for athletic trainers to come together, like we spoke about continuing education, where we speak about the cutting edge of the field and also network as a profession and kind of stay up to date, which is especially important because though we get rigorous training in university, things in sports medicine and technology in general change rapidly.
Smith adding that an athletic training career is not a one-stop shop, insisting trainers must continue with the certifications in order to stay ahead of the game.
We do continuing education, so people can get a bachelor's degree and then go do a 2-year master's, but many programs have like a 3+2, similar like engineering, where you do 3 years undergrad and then 2 years.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world, as the U.S. National Security Advisor is now taking responsibility for mistakenly texting Yemen war plans to a local journalist. Plus, Ukraine and Russia agree to stop fighting in the Black Sea. We've got the details on the resolution. And then 66 confirmed cases of hand, foot, and mouth disease in the British Virgin Islands. We'll tell you what health officials are reporting. The details when our news returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz taking responsibility for the leak about strikes on Yemen in a Signal chat that included a journalist from The Atlantic. During an interview with Fox News on Tuesday night, Waltz called the leak embarrassing. He also confirmed he created the chat where highly sensitive details were posted about imminent U.S. strikes on Yemen and said those were not classified. War plans were posted in the group shortly before the first wave of attacks on May 15th. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration has sought to contain fallout from an explosive article on Monday by The Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg.
Well, I think it's a question I've been asked now, and I've given a few answers, and they've all been the same. We have an amazing group. Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been. We have had a very, very successful, numerous attacks on that area. These are people that shoot down ships, not only our ships, ships all over the world. They're shooting down right out of the water and damaging them badly, or they're going down. They're also shooting anything that happens to be flying in the area. We hit them very, very hard. There was no classified information, as I understand it. They used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use.
Russia and Ukraine have reached an agreement to ensure safe navigation and prevent the military use of commercial vessels in the Black Sea. The deal, reached during technical level talks in Riyadh, also includes a ban on strikes against energy facilities in both countries. The United States has pledged to help restore Russia's access to global agricultural and fertilizer markets, reduce maritime insurance costs, and facilitate trade payments. The Ukrainian defense minister stressed that any Russian military vessel movement beyond the eastern Black Sea would be considered a threat to Ukraine's security. An Israeli airstrike in southern Gaza killed a Hamas political leader, as Palestinian officials say the death toll from nearly 18 months of conflict has now surpassed 50,000. Diane reports.
Video showed the moment an Israeli airstrike hit Gaza City on Sunday, as officials said dozens were killed by strikes across the enclave, including a Hamas political leader. According to Gaza's health ministry, the death toll since the beginning of the war has now surpassed 50,000 Palestinians. In southern Gaza's Khan Yunis, a funeral was held for Hamas official Salah al-Badawiel and his wife. They were killed in an Israeli airstrike on the city, according to officials of the militant group. Badawiel was a member of Hamas's decision-making political office. A large crater was left in the ground after the airstrike that Hamas officials said had killed him. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said the main aim of the war is to destroy Hamas as a military and governing entity. Hamas has accused Israel of breaking the terms of the January ceasefire agreement by refusing to start second phase talks for a permanent end to the war. Families mourned the loss of their loved ones and pleaded for an end to the war. We got up in a panic and found ourselves covered in rubble, filth and dust, this woman said. The young men came and pulled out children from under the rubble. Little children, what was their fault? While this man said he just wants to live with his family in peace. Brothers and sisters, the whole world, listen to us. We don't want wars, he said. We want to live like the rest of the world.
Well, from the region, a 4-month-long investigation into human trafficking has ended with the arrest in the Turks and Caicos. Officers from the Serious Crimes Unit of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force calling it a significant breakthrough. The investigation was a partnership with TCI's Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. 50-year-old Oren Walkin and 45-year-old Maria Alexander Pineda de Walkin were charged with 6 counts of trafficking in persons, 1 count of keeping a brothel used for prostitution, and 1 count of controlling prostitution for gain. Health officials in the British Virgin Islands have reported a sharp rise in cases of hand, foot, and mouth disease. Officials confirming 66 infections across early childhood learning centers and pre-primary schools. BVI's acting chief medical officer, Dr. Ronald Georges, said the public health unit has enhanced surveillance as well as increased health inspections, public awareness, and support for daycares and schools. HFMD spreads through direct contact with an infected person's saliva, respiratory droplets, blister fluid, or stool. It can also be transmitted via contaminated surfaces or objects such as toys, doorknobs, and shared utensils. Symptoms include fever, sore throat, painful mouth ulcers, skin rash on the hands, feet, or buttocks, decreased appetite, irritability, and fatigue. Still to come in our news, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was March 26. Plus, this Saturday, all roads lead to the Nassau Cruise Port for the 3rd Zest Fest. Grab your sneakers and a friend for a weekend of wellness. And then in our news at 7:30, the Health and Wellness Minister tabling the Health Promotion and Wellness Bill in the House of Assembly. We'll tell you how this impacts imported food. That's coming up when our news returns.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a 2nd year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk.
On this day in Bahamian history, on March 26, 1672, the deadline set by the Lords Proprietors of Carolina for people to settle in the Bahama Islands with a land grant of 50 acres expired. This offer was made to establish a sustainable colony in the Bahamas. It also included the promise that each free person would be granted an additional 50 acres of land for each dependent. The first English settlement in the Bahamas was on Eleuthera in 1670, after the King of England gave the Bahamas to the Lords Proprietors of the province of Carolina. Fast forward to 2014. That's when then Central and South Andros Member of Parliament Paiswell Forbes apologized in Parliament for his laughter after Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller joked in Parliament about abusing an ex-girlfriend earlier that year. Forbes, who was sitting next to Miller at the time of his communication, had previously told the media that he had nothing to apologize for, as the comments made by Miller were said in jest. Forbes went on record to express his objection to the physical abuse of women. Then in 2020, Ministry of Health officials revealed COVID cases were climbing after the first case of COVID-19 was reported on March 15th. Prompting a state of emergency. Then Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands pleaded with residents to stay indoors. Well, are you looking for a family-friendly environment to spend time with your loved ones this weekend? CG Atlantic has the perfect event for you. On Saturday, March 29th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m., the company will host their third annual Zest Festival at the Nassau Cruise Port. The grounds will be filled with food and beverage vendors and local artisans. To add to the excitement, patrons can enjoy what organizers say will be a jaw-dropping car show and lively performances by the Higher Level Band and the Essence Band. Prince Blyden, Corporate Wellness Coordinator at CG Atlantic, says the importance of the event is to promote social wellness.
Social wellness is something that people tend to forget. And we know that when you're on that wellness journey, the best way to stay consistent is usually to bring a friend along with you, or you bring an accountability partner, because no one likes to be on a diet.
Entry for the event is free, including workout sessions led by some of the most sought-after trainers in the industry.
So we'll have a session at 2 p.m. by Bowflex Barbie, another session at 3 p.m. with Peach Fit, and then a yoga session at 4 p.m. by Antonio Weish, all free. Also, during Bowflex Barbie's session, she will also be giving you a free resistance band. So whatever you learn here to support your muscles, your joints, you're able to go home and practice those skills as well.
All right, well, to watch that again and for all of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.bs. That does it for Our News Live at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Talia, welcome back on a Hump Day Wednesday.
I heard I was missed.
You were.
Jerome was making some
Absolutely.
posts. All right, thanks so much, Megan. It's good to be back. Well, coming up, the LNG deal under scrutiny. Hear what the opposition has to say, and we take you inside Rip the Runway during Freeport's Fashion Week. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on Our News, live at 7:30, as the Davis administration pushes forward with a new liquefied natural gas deal, the Free National Movement is raising concerns. Our Joshua Williams has the details coming up. Also, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville has tabled a new health promotion and wellness bill aimed at improving the quality of life for Bahamians. Plus, during a heated debate in Parliament, St. Anne's Member of Parliament Adrian White is calling for greater transparency from the Davis administration. We have more from today's session straight ahead. And later, high-level discussions between U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Kingston this afternoon tackle key regional issues, including claims that Cuban doctors working in the region are victims of human trafficking. We have the full story when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Hey
guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucaya solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Every season creates an opportunity for you to enjoy the comfort and security of your most valuable assets. Unfortunately, termites are common and very unwanted guests that never stop eating. With Strucum, you can enjoy the peace of mind as we protect your investment with our 3-year fumigation warranty. Strucum, #1 in pest control services.
Diet-friendly special.
Hello, I'm Jerome Sawyer, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to continue to receive this great content, be sure and hit that button right over there.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. As the Davis administration tries to solve the decades-long energy crisis with a new liquefied natural gas deal, the Free National Movement is questioning the arrangement. Speaking to reporters outside Parliament this morning, party leader Michael Pintard questioned how the deal benefits taxpayers. Our Joshua Williams reports.
Last week, the government inked a new LNG deal they say will save the country $180 million annually in energy costs. But the opposition says it lacks transparency.
They're demanding greater disclosure on the government's energy reforms. While the government promises the project will slash costs and provide jobs for Bahamians, Pintard raises this question.
There's going to be a need for a pipeline to transport, after the regasification, the gas to Blue Hills. And the question is, how is that going to happen? Has there been an environmental impact assessment done to determine the safety of a line? And we should certainly make sure that no private company gets to own that particular line and the Bahamian people having to pay a toll indefinitely to that owner.
The agreement makes way for the development of an LNG terminal in Bahamas Power and Light's Clifton Pier plant. LNG is known to be cheaper, cleaner, and has less price volatility when compared to diesel and oil. When it comes to BPL, Pintard says their position has been consistent.
The maximum number of Bahamians should have been given an opportunity to buy shares in any privatization of Bahamian assets. Secondly, there should be competitive bidding so that a wide range of companies, preferably Bahamian companies, have an opportunity to bid.
Focal Holdings chairman Sir Franklin Wilson told the Tribune newspaper that the opposition's leader criticism of the deal was political gimmickry and petty foolishness.
We need more Bahamians from the private sector and otherwise to speak up on these kinds of arrangements. It's nothing personal with anyone. It's about the Bahamian people.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. Well, recent SpaceX Starship explosions, including one earlier this month, raised concerns about the impact falling debris could have on the environment. For weeks, debris has been washing up on shorelines across the country, and opposition leader Michael Pintard is questioning the impact it could have. Speaking to reporters outside the House of Assembly this morning, Pintard also questioned the Prime Minister's commitment to the environment.
The Prime Minister is spending a massive amount of money traveling around the world under the guise of representing this region on climate change matters. He cannot allow himself to be cast as a hypocrite, saying one thing globally, but locally he's not taking care of the proper stewardship of our environment.
Last evening, the Office of the Prime Minister released a statement confirming more debris had been cleaned up, with SpaceX footing the bill for the cleanup effort. And while the debris is being removed, some feel as if government's response to environmental concerns has not been enough. But Minister of State for the Environment and Natural Resources, Zane Lightbourne, had this comeback.
Then why does the opposition want to be all of a sudden scientists? Let's rely on science if that's going to be the standard. And we too are just waiting for the experts to give us any necessary information, and as they do it, we'll bring it to the public.
While Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville tabling the Health Promotion and Wellness Bill in the House of Assembly today that will, among other things, actively monitor food coming into the country that could contribute to chronic diseases. The focus of the bill is to promote health, improve quality of life, and enhance the well-being of all Bahamians. It includes a framework that includes robust health regulations, behavior change interventions, and dedicated national health promotion strategies. The objectives of the bill are:
promote healthier lifestyles across all age groups, encouraging both physical activity and improved nutrition. To strengthen synergies among government agencies to ensure food and nutrition security is maintained and improved. Reduce the incidence of chronic non-communicable diseases and prevent premature death related to excessive and sustained consumption of bad foods that are a public health concern. And finally, the implementation of global and regional health policies.
Darville told Parliament cardiovascular disease and kidney failure are crippling the healthcare system. He said 40% of teens and 71.6% of adults are overweight, emphasizing the need for bold action to protect children. Part 2 of the bill provides for the creation of a health promotion wellness plan and the adoption of specific public health policies designed to push the national health and wellness agenda, while Part 3 outlines the formation of a National Food and Nutrition Commission,
which will be responsible for implementing a national nutritional surveillance system and advocating for best practices in food and nutrition.
A government of sneakers and stilettos. That's how St. Anne's Member of Parliament Adrian White is describing the Davis administration amid multiple deals he says requires transparency. White made his comments while contributing to the debate on the automatic exchange of financial information bill. The St. Anne's MP says the Davis administration did not hold back as he made these comments on the floor of the House of Assembly.
That's what this government is about, sneakers and stilettos, Madam Speaker. When they're not wearing speakers, they're sneaking things, Madam Speaker, with these secret confidential deals. Madam Speaker, they view it that this is their 5 years. They're going to do the deals that they want. They're going to sign deals in secrecy, and they're going to keep details of those deals that the public wants in secrecy. That's already been raised today in debate, Madam Speaker. This is a government of sneakers and stilettos.
And White did not stop there. He referenced the Prime Minister's dismissal of questions on the Exuma moorings deal last week. White and the House Speaker had this exchange, and the National Security Minister quickly got up to defend her.
There are two great fires in this Commonwealth, Madam Speaker. It's the fire of the F&M, and it's the fire between, Madam Speaker, and Leader of Opposition Business in the House.
Fire?
Yes, ma'am.
Me don't know I'm no fire.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Where?
It's the fire you can't see, but the public catches it, Madam Speaker.
The Leader of Opposition Business, who I did teach him some things. I didn't teach him to. I didn't teach him to watch man. I didn't teach him that. But what I did teach him is about rules.
High-level talks between the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness took center stage in Kingston, Jamaica this afternoon as the two leaders addressed key regional issues. One of the major topics was the controversial claim that Cuban doctors working in the region are victims of human trafficking, a claim both Jamaica and the Bahamas have rejected. In a landmark visit, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Kingston to discuss regional matters. This visit marks the first by a high-ranking member of President Trump's cabinet to the Caribbean since the administration's commencement in January 2025. The U.S. Secretary of State noting that Jamaica is a great partner with the U.S. Among the topics discussed was means to attract increased U.S. investment into Jamaica's emergent sectors, trade, immigration policies, security, crime, and gangs.
Discussed significant progress that we are making in bringing down all major crimes, and that Jamaica today is safer than at any time in the last 2 decades. In fact, crimes against visitors represent less than 0.01% of the more than 3 million visitors to Jamaica annually.
The U.S. assertion that Cuban medical professionals in the Caribbean are subjected to human trafficking was a question raised by a reporter. Now, Prime Minister Philip Davis has previously stated that Cuban medical professionals in the Bahamas are working under legal and fair conditions. Rubio explained this concern by the U.S.
There are places that have better labor standards. Perhaps Jamaica is one of those, and that's fine. But I'm describing generally what the program has been. It has operated in that way in many parts of the world and placed these people in tremendous danger. And so I think we can all agree that the trafficking in labor, be they doctors or farm workers, is not something that we would want to be supportive of. And we find that to be an egregious practice on the part of the Cuban regime. Now, every country operates their program differently. And obviously, because of our relationship with Jamaica, we're going to engage with them on that and talk about it further and have a better understanding. Perhaps none of this applies in the way it's handled here. But generally, that's the problem with the program. It's not that they're Cuban doctors. It's that the regime does not pay these doctors, takes away their passports.
The leaders also addressed the Haitian migration crisis.
There has to be a rapid expansion of the Haitian National Police, the HNP, in terms of the manpower and resources, because ultimately the HNP has to take on the gangs.
Well, a bus driver accused of having sex with an underage girl will be electronically monitored while on a $9,000 bail. Prosecutors say that 32-year-old Markinson Petithomme had unlawful sexual intercourse with a 15-year-old girl in October of 2023. He was not required to enter a plea to the charge of unlawful sexual intercourse when he stood before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans. The accused returns to court on June 23rd to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Switching gears now, a nice day in the capital with ideal conditions for outdoor activities. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Happy day and welcome back.
Thank you so much, Greg. I
I
had
hope
a
you
great
enjoyed.
vacation.
Yeah, sometimes you need those vacations and some free time for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at some very nice conditions this evening. A little on the warm side, 77 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Winds out of the northeast at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 78. Satellite radar composite frontal boundary that swung through the chain of islands that gave us some rainfall. Now down in the southeast Bahamas, but most of the activity exiting the area. High pressure is building behind that, and that high is going to be strengthening over the next couple of days. So winds will be picking up, beaching and boating will become hazardous over the next couple of days. That takes us into the weekend. That the high pressure system slides towards the east. We expect the winds to start to fall off by early next week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast. Is still to come.
Still to come in our news, students from AF Adderley Junior High School took part in a special sensitivity workshop aimed at raising awareness about persons with disabilities in the country. And later, Freeport Fashion Week wrapped up in a spectacular grand finale with Rip the Runway. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
A group of 50 students from AF Adelaide Junior High School participated in a special sensitivity workshop Wednesday. The program is designed to raise awareness about persons with disabilities in the Bahamas. The event, organized by the Bahamas Awareness Commission, aimed to train young leaders on the importance of inclusion and acceptance. The school's principal, Carmen Richards Miller, explained that the students were carefully selected based on their leadership qualities, kindness, and empathy.
Already we have a pre-vocational unit here, so we have students who are autistic and have other disabilities here, and so the students are very sensitive to what the situations that those students face, and so they're champions for them already. Whatever they are doing, the students, they go overboard to make sure that these students are happy, that they feel successful at whatever they are doing in school.
Students participated in sign language sessions as well as open discussions with persons currently living with disabilities. The importance of the workshop was underscored by Chairman of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
You can't believe how important it is, because what we're doing is sensitizing young people towards persons with disabilities to be a more tolerant, inclusive, and accepting society. And as they grow up, having learned this at a younger age, they would be able to carry out that through into adulthood. So we're trying to build an inclusive society.
When our news comes back from the break, a 3-day extravaganza of fashion, culture, and creativity ended with a dazzling runway show. We take you behind the scenes straight ahead.
Coming up in sports, the Bahamas to host the World Relays for the 5th time. A Bahamian prospect is back on the diamond for the Miami Marlins, and local schools participate in the country's first ever indoor rowing championships.
And Greg is back with the extended weather forecast when our news returns.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes. Like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Once I had a gal, she called me Finn. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took her trip to Boy Town.
Powering your world, powering your future.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust. Welcome to R Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's Sean Marknut. Let's do show. For the 5th time, the Bahamas will host one of the landmark events on the World Athletics calendar, bringing the top relay teams from around the world back to a revamped Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. At the World Athletics Council meeting in Nanjing, China, the international governing body for the sport officially announced that the Bahamas will host the World Relays in 2028. The event will take place April 22nd to 23rd. The Bahamas previously hosted the meet in 2014, 2015, 2017, and 2024. The meet serves as a platform for national teams to compete in various relay disciplines, often acting as a qualifier for major championships like the Olympic Games or World Championships.
Both Buddy Hield and Kai Jones were on the court Tuesday night in NBA action. Buddy Hield finished with 10 points and shot 2 from 5 from the three-point range, but his Golden State Warriors lost to the Miami Heat 112-86 at the Kaseya Center in Miami. Kai Jones and the Dallas Mavericks didn't fare any better on the road facing the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Kai Jones finished with 9 points, 8 rebounds, and made his first three-pointer of the season in the Mavericks' 128-113 loss to the Knicks.
After a year on the sidelines, Ian Lewis is back on the diamond for the Miami Marlins and looks to continue where he left off in 2023. The ultimate goal remains the same, a call-up to the major leagues. Lewis made his first spring training appearance with the big league club in the Marlins' 6-5 win over the Houston Astros in Grapefruit League play. He entered the game as a defensive sub at second base in the 4th inning and finished 1 for 2 at the plate with a stolen base. The 22-year-old infielder was previously ranked as high as number 9 in the Marlins organization. Injuries and visa issues have slowed that trend in recent years, and he spent the entire 2024 season training at the club's complex in the Dominican Republic. Over his 3-year pro career that has reached as high as single A, Lewis has hit .250 with a .698 OPS, 10 home runs, 92 RBI, and 58 stolen bases.
Rowing continues its development into the local school system. Windsor School recently hosted the country's first indoor rowing nationals at the school's campus. Over 40 student athletes competed side by side on Concept 2 ergometers, including the host King's College, Laifakina National School, and the Nassau Rowing Club. Windsor topped the medal table with 8 gold medals and dominated the events for older students, while King's College won 7 gold medals in this event for the younger students. Nassau Rowing Club's team, which included members of their Opportunities and Access Rowing Squad, had 4 wins, and LCIS claimed 3 gold medals. In addition to race day at Windsor, more than 200 students at government schools were able to take part in their own event by submitting individual results over the last 2 weeks to the oars coaches taking ergometers into schools. The Willie Mae Pratt Center topped the government school medal table, claiming gold in under 15, under 16, under 17, and under 19 girls divisions. AF Adderley was a close second with 3 gold medals for under 13 girls and both the under 13 and under 17 boys.
That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS, and in true 10YS fashion, we did not plan a proper outro.
I think we need better pre-production communication.
I love how you like to pretend like we're not just winging this whole thing, but okay. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, we highlight the grand finale of Freeport Fashion Week and the designer who made it all possible. Plus, clear skies and calm conditions continue in the capital. Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns. Stay with us.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Diet-friendly special.
This is our news. Welcome back. Frontal boundary that moves through the islands now near the southeast Bahamas with a trailing weak boundary just hanging out across the Nagua, Turks and Caicos area. Most of the activity associated with the frontal boundary is now well to the east of us. Behind that, a dry air mass is building across us. That's going to continue to keep us with some very nice weather. But that high is going to be strengthening over the next several days. So we're looking at some very strong winds. They will be starting off tomorrow. We're getting up to almost like gale warnings for this Friday into Saturday before winds start to fall off. But it's going to be hazardous for beaching and boating over the next several days. So we're asking you boaters to remain in port. Your beachgoers, we're asking you to stay out of the waters. Another system in the Gulf of Mexico, that will stay out there, but the boundary will stay to the north of us through the weekend. We could possibly see another frontal boundary getting in here sometime early next week with some more showers expected in the forecast. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that boundary near the southeast Bahamas still lurking out there, but most of the activity, as I mentioned, staying well to the east of us, and that's through Thursday. Then by Friday, we do have some high-level moisture moving across us, but dry weather expected throughout the remainder of the week, and that should take us into the weekend. Boating forecast, northwest and central Bahamas. We have a caution flag tomorrow that will likely become an advisory by tomorrow evening. High rip current risk will be elevated there. Northeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots. They will be increasing 20 to 25 knots by tomorrow evening. Sea is 4 to 6 feet. They will be building accordingly. Tide is presently high, will be low at 12:30 in the morning. The next high tide is at 6:44 tomorrow morning as well. For the southeast Bahamas, we have a caution flag initially for you guys, but that will likely be increasing as the winds increase for you tomorrow afternoon. Northeast to east winds 15 knots, increasing 15 to 20 knots by tomorrow afternoon. Seas 3 to 5. They will be building 4 to 7 feet. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, quiet weather for us tomorrow, breezy conditions taking us into the weekend. Some moisture will be moving into our area by Sunday, Monday time frame. And of course, another front expected by early next week. But temperatures will stay near the 80-degree mark, and those nighttime temperatures will be in the low 70s. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, last week on City in Focus, we took you inside Freeport Fashion Week, a 3-day celebration of style, creativity, and culture. The event culminated in a highly anticipated finale, the RIP, the Runway Fashion Show. In this report, we introduce you to the visionary behind that show. Let's take a look. The energy was exciting at Freeport Fashion Week in Grand Bahama. After 3 days of glamour and innovation, the event ended with the Rip the Runway fashion show at the Grand Lucine Resort. Models took center stage, showcasing unique designs while competing for a grand prize.
Tanisha Pyfrom, the founder of Rip the Runway, shared the inspiration behind this year's theme.
Because this year we are celebrating 70 years of Grand Bahama, I came up with the idea to reimagine the International Bazaar. If you haven't know, I think all of our styles, all of our fashion sense in Freeport started from the International Bazaar. And so designers are asked to create high fashion straw dolls and also Bahamian showgirl pieces.
And she says that this will be an ongoing event.
Next year is going to be even better. It gets better every year.
All right, so exciting, of course, to see that story again is available now at ournews.bs. And with that, we thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large